next minute after that, I could be like, okay, I'm
Yeah, but
that
that
was a
choice to
terrible
make,
experience. I can,
but that choice
you
to
know,
actually change comes from something else, which could be, again, another, I guess, how do I put this?
what was that argument you brought up about? Uh, I forgot. You brought up a source though about how our our actions are based off of what? What was it? What did you say?
Our biology, past experiences, memories, trauma, etc. Like all of our actions, every who we are as people, our choices we make are all based off of those things which we cannot control.
Yeah.
Well, you still have free will though. Like if I get what you're saying, like just because you um just because you have like a bad past and that makes you want to do sin more than somebody that doesn't have the same past, you still, I think that God has grace with you. Like someone who has a horrible upbringing, was around a lot of death and killing and stuff like that.
Romans 5:10.
That's different. That's different from somebody
I
who's
think
born in um like
I
I don't know, like the suburbs and had an easier upbringing. So God knows that we come from different places. So I think that He has grace
yeah.
with
I think yeah.
where we
That's
are, and I think that it God has grace, but it only that stuff only has so much. As long as you're not insane, that stuff only has so much impact on what you do. Because
yeah. So
yeah, you do like your brain makes you do an action like before you think it. Or I forgot how you phrase it exactly, but I know what
Your
you mean.
brain makes a decision before you're even aware of it.
Yeah, but that's true. But like it's still you choosing to move your hand, or you choosing to
uh,
use your
can I
hand
just add
to
on
do
to what you
sin
said?
or to do good. Yeah.
Um. So yeah, I think you're right. Your brain. What was the phrase? Go ahead and say it one more time.
Your brain makes a decision before you're even aware of it.
Yeah, and so basically what I was gonna say is that God knows all this, so that's why His judgment isn't blinded and isn't shallow, which is why He weighs our heart and not just the action. There's multiple verses on probably more than 10 that says that God looks at the heart, like the so basically I'm looping back to my first answer that God looks at the heart and He understands every wound, every weight, and everything, right? And He understands why we make these decisions, and He's a merciful God, and He'll take this into account. I know I brought up a verse earlier. I'm gonna bring up another one. It says the exact same thing, but it's just to, I guess it's even repetitive in the Bible to show like, no worries. Uh, God knows how you are as a human. So First Samuel 16:7, the Lord looks on the heart. Psalms 103:14, He knows our frame. He remembers that we are dust. So looping back again, God takes into account every wound, every limitation, every unseen burden, and judges perfectly with justice and ultimately mercy. So I don't think that um you'll be judged correctly, basically. Yeah.
Mm, I understand that, but I think I was trying to get at like, yes, we'll be judged correctly, but if the choices that we make to be judged were all based on, I'm sorry, we're all influenced by stuff we couldn't control, then why is
Then like
anyone
guys,
in the hell? What does hell even exist in a way?
no,
If everything
that
happens then,
that assumes that you can't control what you do though. You very well can. Like, you have free will.
yeah,
It's like
yes, but
I'm pausing music for this since
in a way, okay,
I don't have
in a way we can't control it
productive
because
conversation.
how do I put this? It's all based on stuff we did not choose. So in a way, we cannot control it. In a way, like your
I wanna know
biology,
where you're getting
the way that
these
your brain chemistry works, you
these
can't like
studies from.
every choice you make is based off of just things you cannot control. Like,
Are
do
you
you get
sure?
what I mean?
Then where do the stories of these heroes come from? These people that they overcome their difficulties, even though there's so many difficult things in their life, they overcome them. They do better. They're moved with grace.
Mhm. But then that's the thing. Their experiences made them. Something happened to them that made them see something differently, or make a better choice. Some people don't have that. Some people don't have that experience. They don't have that luck to have that experience. So can we really judge them the same way as we judge someone else? I mean, just saying that we praise that other person.
Well,
Well,
I
you
mean,
can't
there's
say that
people
you
who have
can't really
only
judge anybody.
there's
Sorry?
rare cases. There's people who have only who've only basically experienced bad comparatively to what you or me have experienced, and they still choose to be
Yeah,
kind,
God,
which is
Mhm.
probably not.
But what would be the
God will
reason
judge
why they chose that?
us.
What what changed them in a way? What did they experience? What they maybe they met someone across the street that gave them I guess insightful words to change their life. You know, they didn't really choose
I
that to
mean,
happen. It
it could
happened to
be.
them out of luck. You know?
That's true, but
Yeah.
I mean, I get what you're saying. Like we have no control over anybody
That's
else's actions but
why.
ours and how they influence
That's
us.
why. That's why God, being God, He's all powerful. He takes a deeper look into us that no other scientist, no other scholar is gonna be able to take. Uh, so God knows all of that. He's not like us. He doesn't judge us blindly. He knows how much a person really understands, how much they were taught, what their mind can handle. And that's why in Luke
Yeah.
12:45, maybe 12:48, I think, says to whom much is given, much will be required. He's not holding a traumatized or mentally struggling person to the same standard as someone who had every chance and full clarity. So yeah, judgment still matters, but God's judgment
Yeah.
isn't harsh, and rather it's perfectly fair. He sees the full picture, not just what we did, but why. And that's why we all need his grace, not because we're totally free, but because we're deeply shaped and still deeply loved by him.
I got a question. I got a question for you.
For me,
No, no. Ioma.
Hmm.
Lusciously, lush. I don't know how to pronounce that, bro. So if say the Christian God, the God of the Bible, Jesus Christ, caring, loving, if he was real, would you believe in him? Would you worship him?
Okay.
If he was real, if there was evidence that he was
Yes.
real.
No, like just if he's real, if you knew
This
he
is
was real,
actually
without a doubt.
so boring.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Hmm?
No, that was just it. It was just a yes or no question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like
so do you want to touch on what I said, or was that
Oh my
it?
god.
What's your name? Sorry, the Ioma. I'm just call you Ioma.
It's
Did
lusciously. But can you?
that was it?
I didn't really get to hear your last part.
No, my god. Oh my god.
I don't
Um,
think I. Or can you like just repeat the verse that you were sitting out?
as Luke 12:45, 48. I'm not sure. It says, "To whom much is given, much will be required."
Mm.
Valid.
Is that that's the only verse I read.
Have you read
So
the Bible?
I've read some of it, not the full Bible yet. No,
Like what parts? The Old Testament or the New Testament?
I think it was the New Testament.
You should read the Gospels. Really get to know. Honestly, we're we're giving out pretty decent like information, or he's giving, or what we also giving pretty decent information, you know. But if you really want to understand more in depth, and more knowledgeably, you want to gain more knowledge, seek the like source. You don't want to, you never really want to get secondhand information from anybody, because sometimes that secondhand isn't as perfect as it could be from the source. Not saying that he's giving off bad information, but I'm just saying, you know, you'll get a lot more insight and a lot more context if you just look for the source. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Yeah, I feel
like,
like
I
for
will
most
say
of the questions
yes.
you're asking, the answers are in the book.
Yeah, but like, see, I think I've read some verses in the Old Testament that just kind of like made me just think that I just don't even want to read anything about the Bible really, because it's just all so messed up.
I would
The
look
Old
at
And
Testament
what
is
like,
the
what
early
verses
church
you,
fathers. I would look at what the early
what
church
verses
fathers
did you read?
said about the Bible, because when you just read the Bible, it's hard to fully understand it, and it's hard for your every interpretation be correct. And most of the commonly held positions you hear people explain, it's from, well, some of it could be just from reading the Bible, but a lot of it's also from people hearing other people give positions that the early church fathers gave on the Bible. And the reason I think it's important to listen to them is because they were the people directly after Christ, and they devoted their entire lives more so than almost any person today has. So that's why I think it's important to read and look at what they say too, because if you read all this stuff in the Bible, like you've probably read in the Old Testament stuff about slavery, it probably looks like God's condoning a bunch of evil stuff. It's hard to read that and to come to every conclusion that
yeah, for sure.
Christians
Especially when you haven't read the whole thing. The Old Testament is like a continuous book. You kind of have to read a lot of it to get to understand God more. But go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting.
You're also gonna
But I
want
mean,
to
does the Old
you
Testament not based on
understand the
God's word?
context.
Oh my god.
No, the Old Testament is, well, I believe that the Old Testament is God's word, and that it basically has the prophecies for the New Testament.
Hmm.
I
It
feel
also
like most of the
explains how
verses you might be referring to are taken out of context. Like I
Okay,
can
I'll
give
give
you
you
one
one.
that. Or go ahead.
Okay, Numbers 31:17 through 18. Now therefore kill
Numbers.
every man among the Numbers 31:17
Uh,
through 18.
numbers. Okay, yeah, go on.
Now therefore kill every man among the little ones, and kill every woman who has known man intimately. But all the young girls who have not known man intimately, keep alive for yourselves.
Oh my god.
Oh, this is when one of the
I've
Israelites were, or one of the Isaac's kids, I think, right? They were going into the city when they killed.
Somebody, or even be in contact in a relationship way. Like not even hook up, not even flirt. Like I don't get it. Maybe that's just me.
Mm,
Like, I
yeah,
wouldn't
that's
even
what I said.
flirt
I
with
think
one of
it's
my
just
guy
my
friends.
experience.
No, from what I've noticed, a
Yeah.
lot of girls do genuinely just want like a pure platonic relationship with a guy, but a lot of the kind of time, it's just the guy that kind of ruins it. Let me see what John has to say.
Oh, whoops.
Whoa,
Is this a guy?
Hello,
What's
John
up?
F. Kennedy.
Hello.
what's
Oh,
going
it's
on,
a
bro?
guy. Okay, now that's perspective.
What's up?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. That is true. I'm a jolly
Yay.
soul.
We saw the mirror.
Anyways,
Okay, yeah, okay.
What do
So
you have
what do you have to say about this,
about
John?
men and women can be platonically friends, but it's usually a guy that's gooning too much.
Exactly.
Period. Oh,
Exactly.
Oh.
no, wait, I'm scared now.
Wait, what is that supposed to mean? What is that supposed to mean? Wait, what?
See,
John
like,
F.
y'all
Kennedy,
don't.
do you mind explaining more, please?
Yeah, explain more, please.
I don't know, really weird self-image, especially in men, is that like any person, like any woman specifically being respectful to you, you want to chase in a romantic way, and it's kind of a issue.
Really?
A lot of guys,
Like if
a lot
I'm
of
just
guys are
nice
also
to you.
so like attention star from females, or they just didn't get it at
Oh,
a
yeah.
younger age. That like that the second they get any, like they just literally automatically almost gain feelings for them.
Yeah, it's insane.
And it might not be like
That's
love. It's not love, but
crazy.
it's just like obsessive
It's
type
lust.
of feelings.
It's lust.
Yeah, it's complete lust.
That's crazy.
Oh, that makes sense, I guess.
Not the
Like
goody
I know y'all. I know from your perspective, like you would want a platonic relationship with a guy, and as much as it seems so like you're having one with a dude, I want to say for a large majority of them, the guy has different thoughts.
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay.
No, I'm not saying all of them S22, but a lot of them are. Yeah. Like it just could be like a little deceiving.
Damn, that like he makes me worried. I can't lie.
Yeah, cause like
Like,
some
I'm
of them
sorry,
are
it's so
ugly.
weird that like you guys have never noticed this before or what?
No, because like I've been like
Oh,
we have a friend group and like the obviously guys and we're all platonic and like honestly I just see them as like family, like one big
I'm
family
not the
really.
friend
It's
group
been years,
girl. I'm telling you, the friend groups are
but it's the same
bad.
group from high school.
Oh yeah, that
Like
shit's gonna get
6 oh
fractured
what,
by
6
somebody trying to
years?
date.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly,
hell,
exactly. But guys,
Give
not
it
in the
like a
friend
year and a
group.
half.
Not the friend group.
oh hell no, that's like I
Not
don't
the
like
friend
that.
group.
Like
Well, I mean, it depends, bro. If y'all have been like childhood friends and like you really are
we
family,
have fuck.
like hopefully no one thinks like that, but there's still a possibility.
Yeah, and then also
Like high
sometimes,
school.
um, like like people can take rejection. So if you like continue being friends with them afterwards and it's not weird, it might resolve itself. It might not. It's kind of 50-50.
Oh, I've had that, and like
Hmm.
we're still good friends. They have a missus. My mans and I are going 4 years strong. So
Period.
I hope it's gold. But honestly, I see all of them as like my brothers and sisters. Like that's it. Mostly, I try and think like because they all have different tastes. I hope damn well they have different tastes.
Yeah, exactly. Different types. Different types.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
see all my female friends as
Am I right?
bald.
That's what I'm getting
Exactly.
from.
But I'm
That's what
just
I'm
saying,
saying.
like
Like
I feel like a good portion of guys will just like put their meat inside of anything with 3 holes, bro. Like I'm not even trying to like.
I can't even count that high.
Yeah, bro.
I can't. Yeah, fact. No, I just feel like because we just all know too much about each other that we're like low key disgusted by each other.
Yeah, I don't
For
know.
no,
Look,
for
there's
my
some situations that like are probably like this stronger than just like friendship. Like y'all are almost family, and hopefully like there's no weird ass people trying to bone their family. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd
hundred.
be
I better
weird.
not.
All of you sound British, so you
That's
don't got
weird.
the Alabama problem.
Hopefully
Oh,
not.
you're not
Hopefully not me.
British.
Oh, I got
Nah,
a
we're
restriction.
not from America, so thank goodness.
Is there like a European country known for that?
Europeans.
Why not from Britain?
I'm from
Isn't that where
Australia.
you're?
British.
Oh, Australia.
Well, at least.
Australia and New
Yeah,
Zealand.
of course it can come up. Yeah, damn, I didn't see.
I'm gonna go to a different debate.
Thanks.
Okay,
Yeah,
Tom,
Yeah,
let's
I'm
finish.
I think the hardest part of reading the
Oh
Old
my god, they're still
Testament is some people just don't understand the context, or they'll pinpoint one verse and then all of a sudden their mind will fog up and forget the what they read previously, which is usually the context,
They're
or
still
if
yapping.
not,
And I'm pretty
they won't
sure
read the. Yeah, it's mostly about context, and then it'll clear up. It'll clear itself up.
Get up here. All right, I'm gonna add this guy. All right, you can go ahead because this kid is on mute.
Tough. There's no objective evidence for God.
is objective evidence because we have historical evidence, secular historical evidence of what the Bible is saying. If you go to Tactatius,
Hold up, let me look it up.
Tactatius, okay, spelled Tacitus.
Uh-huh.
He's a Roman historian, 56 to 120 AD. In his book, Annals, book 15, chapter 44, Tactatius confirms that Jesus was executed under Pontius Pilate, exactly what the Bible said. And that also there's other sources like Pliny the Younger, a Roman governor, 61 to 113 AD. He wrote a letter to the Emperor Trajan. Pliny notes that Christians at that time, when Jesus was alive, worshipped him as God, and they adhered to moral teachings linked to Jesus's miracles. So he made a note that Jesus did miracles like healing. Josephus, a Jewish historian. These are all historians, by the way, all secular historians. Most of them weren't even Christian. They all were actually against Christ. Jewish historian, 3700 AD. So Josephus wrote about Jesus doing miracles. And then Thallus, a Roman historian, another one, 55 AD. So he's talking about crucifixion darkness in this text. So when Jesus was crucified, the sky turned dark. It could be a solar eclipse at that time, but that's what the Bible described, like the world, it got dark out of nowhere when Jesus was crucified. He's cited by Julius Africanus. Thallus tried to explain the darkness during Jesus' crucifixion as a solar eclipse, confirming the event's occurrence. Another historian, Greek historian, spelled. I'm actually going to put it in the chat just so you can have it. There's literally so much evidence. Like Jesus is literally. There's so much evidence of Jesus. There's more evidence of Jesus than.
I never denied that Jesus
Roman
did not
historians.
exist. I'm saying that Jesus is not God.
Okay, that's why I'm citing them doing. Literally, Pliny the Younger talked about Jesus healing the sick. Josephus talked about him doing miracles.
Okay, how credible are these historians? Like, are they just saying stuff, or like do they have like other objectively true information?
They lived at that time.
Okay, just because it's a
and
first.
They were all legitimized. They were all credible. There were modern historians that look back at their texts. They all confirmed it. All these historians are literally saying the same thing. They're from the different sides of like this. Tactatius was from like the Romans, Italy. Josephus was Jewish. He was from Israel. What is his name? What is his name? The Greek Phlegon. He's from Greece. Phlegon. Yeah, he's from Greece. They're all saying the same thing.
So
these are not.
These sound like.
These are all credible.
If these are all from like different, if these are all from like different parts of the world, they weren't there to witness any of these. They heard by word of mouth, or were they like physically there to watch these miracles happen?
So, for instance, Pliny the Younger, a Roman governor, he was like a governor of the eastern side of the Roman Empire. He went there and he wrote about Jesus' crucifixion. Tactatius was a historian living in the Eastern Roman Empire. He also wrote about that. Josephus, Israel. He saw the miracles that Jesus did.
What specifically were some of the miracles that Jesus performed? That are objectively true, like him curing blindness. Like, I don't feel as though is like.
They didn't see all of the miracles, but what they said. Let me bring one historian. What he said about Jesus' healing. Yeah. So Pliny the Younger, a Roman governor. In the letter to Emperor Trajan, Pliny notes that it's not with an F. Pliny notes that Christians worshipped Christ as to a god and adhered to moral teachings linked to Jesus' miracles that he saw, and he said that Jesus did healings for people. and that's what he was most known for.
Like
So that's one
what did he
example.
heal though? Like
Let me.
I know like you're saying like healings and stuff, but like is there like any specific instant, or was he just like healing auspicious ailments?
I'm searching that up. I didn't even start the timer. Give me a second. I think we've been talking for about 10 minutes.
It's been more like 7.
7? Okay, 23 minutes. Alright. Just because other people have to go.
Yeah, that makes
There was
sense.
one guy that I was talking with like for an hour. Yeah, I'm searching that up. Max, you're a kid. I can't put you up. You literally said you were below the age of 17.
That's tough. That's really tough.
How did he even get on here? Like,
He probably used his parents. Probably used his parents' ID.
Okay, so this is exactly what Pliny the Younger actually wrote, 112 AD, his letter to Emperor Trajan. Let's see what he said.
No, I use my dead grandpa's. Okay. What? That's actually insane.
He literally says that Christians sang hymns talking about how, Christ healed them. But someone who actually observed, the historian Josephus says that Jesus did miracles. Let me go to that writing.
Yeah, but like so far I have not heard a like objective thing that he healed, and like I'm not trying to like demean you by this, but there's not been like one thing I've heard that is like an objective thing he actually did that healed somebody.
Yeah, this is just what Pliny is saying, that Christians sang hymns talking about how Jesus healed them. But it doesn't go into any specifics. That's what the letter says.
Okay, so there were no specific healing events that were actually documented, just that
No.
people were healed.
Yeah, the Christians themselves said that. Well, they weren't Christian before, but after they were healed, they became Christian. But that's what Pliny the Younger notates in his letter, saying that there was Christians that came up to him and said that Jesus healed them. But let me go to Josephus, but because he called Christ a miracle worker who performed surprising feats. Josephus.
So he said surprising feats, not impossible feats. So I feel like that's a very important distinction to make there.
Yeah, but let me go into let me go into his writings.
Okay. I'm also glad you're not one of those people that just like appeal to mystery and is like, well, you exist, that means God exists. That makes this debate a whole lot easier. You're actually like bringing up historical.
Yeah.
I've
Flavius,
debated
Josephus.
But yeah, I've debated so many people on here, and they were like, "Well, look around you. That's proof." And I'm like, "Okay."
Okay, so this is what he says. Flavius Josephus in Antiquities 1833 in his writing, the historian says, about this time lived Jesus, a wise man, if indeed one ought to call him a man, for he was a doer of paradoxical works, a teacher of those who accept the truth gladly. He won over many Jews and many Greeks. He was the Messiah. And when Pilate, upon accusation by leading men among us, condemned him to the cross, those who had first loved him did not cease. He appeared to them on the third day and restored to life, for the prophets of God had foretold these things and countless other marvels about him. And the tribe of Christians, so named after him, he still to this day not disappeared. So this phrase is widely interpreted as referring to miracles, the paradoxical works. John Bart, who was a modern historian, reviewing what Flavius Josephus says, that Josephus is talking about miracles. Josephus also said that Christ, even though crucified and died, he rose and showed himself to people on the third day. And Josephus uses the word to describe. We know that the reason John Bart and other scholars and historians interpret the paradoxical works, which is the word he used, written in Greek, Josephus uses the same word to describe Elijah's miracles elsewhere, right? And he says Elijah did paradoxical works, so implying supernatural acts. So we know that Jesus did in fact do miracles, because so many historians, secular historians, Josephus isn't a Christian. He actually despised Christians.
What was Josephus' relation like? Not relationship, but like location compared to where Christ was.
He's literally in the same country, in the same place.
Okay, like same city.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jerusalem. I don't know if it was Jerusalem, but I have to search that up. But we don't have a lot of time. But so basically, this is the point. We have historians not just saying that Jesus was real, that he existed. Every atheist know that he existed, but that he was crucified under Pontius Pilate, that he did in fact do miracles. All of these things line up with what the Bible is saying, what the early church fathers taught. There's no contradictions here because so many sources, there's different varying sources saying the same thing. So it's logically, soundproof to believe that Jesus did in fact exist because there's so much evidence. That's why I believe Christianity is true.
I don't want to go out and say that, like, because, like, you are bringing up a lot of, like, historical things, but I feel as though a lot of these are, like, untrue historical statements. Like, they don't line up more with what actually happened. They line up with the kind of idea and stuff of God, but I can't directly prove or disprove that, and I'm not going to appeal the mystery to you.
There was a guy that came in back then. He was a historical relativist, and when I brought up this point, he brought up the point. Well, we don't know if any of these historians are real or not, and I was like, okay, so
yeah, you're appealing to mystery for that.
Yeah, he was like, so I was like, do you believe in Napoleon? No. I was like, what? You don't believe in any of the history? He was like, no, I don't believe in anything in the history. I'm a complete relativist. I believe people just made it up. And I was like, but all these sources align. They're not telling different things. They're not contradicting one another. Well, there could have been like grand conspiracy.
The deep state, the liberal deep state, the liberal deep state.
Yeah, exactly. He started going into that. I'm like, okay,
that's hilarious.
Can you give me evidence of this? Can you give me evidence of this? And he was like,
it's like
I don't have to.
It's like Alex
Jones.
Have
to. Yeah.
That's actually fire. I love that guy. I'm just
like,
gonna turn into the most fallacious debater of all time.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna leave after 14 minutes just to let you know I've been on here for a long time.
Oh, that's fine. I feel like this debate is about ended. We fundamentally disagree on the historical accuracy of those
brother. But listen, this is why this is accurate and this is why they're credible. There's modern historians that went up to them. You know, historians fact check.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they bring up, they look at previous sources and they decide whether this is like, you know, fake or not. John Bart is the one that looked at Josephus, and other scholars looked at it, and it was legit.
Oh, what's the
These
like?
these sources I'm bringing up, are not like fake.
Yeah, I
These
know.
are legit
I'm wondering like
stories.
what the percentage is, like of like historians who agree versus disagree on that, because like anecdotes don't disprove averages, you know.
Like you want, okay, let me for Josephus, for instance. There's a ton, but let's look at Josephus. Give me a second. Flavius Josephus.
Okay.
God does not exist. There's no God, bro. There is no supernatural being that ever existed in this planet.
There's
Okay.
no God, bro. Why do you say that, bro?
So
That's
what?
a strong start.
Why do you
Heike
say
just
that, bro?
like a combative take.
Because what's the? I know it might sound combative, but what's the evidence of there ever being a supernatural being? So why is everyone, the 7 to 8 billion humans on this planet, no one's supernatural, right? So
Let me
God,
ask you a
God
question real quick.
apparently. So I feel like God had to be from someone else, right? Somewhere else, supernatural, a whole ass different planet. Because if we have all these humans over the years, no powers, nothing, no,
What are you
no
talking
way.
about?
Where do you think?
Like I agree with
No,
you,
I'm
but
sorry.
like what the
You
fuck are
guys
you
aren't
talking about?
listening to what the fuck I'm saying, bro. You know
No,
exactly
no.
what I'm saying.
Let me ask you a question, bro. Where do you think all of us came from, bro? Where do you think all this began, bro?
It began from Big Bang, bro. And I know you're gonna have the argument. It was nothing, but something started from nothing.
Okay, so nothing went boom.
All right,
and
where's
we
your
all
where's your
exploded.
The
evidence?
theory of the Big Bang wasn't a
Where's
boom.
your
It's
evidence?
just the universe expanding.
I can say the same thing. Where's your evidence compared to where's my evidence, bro? It just doesn't
Nah,
make
you're
sense.
You're both
Doesn't
appealing
mean
to
that-
mystery.
That just doesn't mean that there was just a fucking God that just said, "All right, let me create this planet. Let me create life here." You know?
So, are you asking
You know we have
for
to be
like,
that
direct
shit on our team, bro.
evidence because there's none?
John F. Kennedy, you got it, bro.
So who
Wait,
knows
what?
what? So it all
I
comes
remember you saying that you were
Well,
trying to
then-
debate earlier.
Oh,
Okay, well, there's you're never
It's all
gonna
beliefs,
get
bro.
exact evidence. You're
It's
never
all
gonna get
belief.
exact evidence that
Exactly.
Christ is-
So
yeah,
like I
it
said,
is all
it's all belief. We believe. We believe. I believe what I believe. You guys believe what you believe.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows, bro?
But, I mean, yeah, but you, what's your, what would you
Fuck
say
that,
is
yeah.
your main reason you don't believe in God, like, at all?
I just don't believe in like that the supernatural shit. Because if there's a God that I feel like that's supernatural, bro.
Okay.
There's a being that apparently created everything. Something we don't really know too much about, but we say we do,
Okay.
right?
But how,
Does it make sense?
I'm just like questioning, like, how would the Big Bang not also be like a miracle? Because, I mean, it would be if
No, that's
nothing,
what I'm saying. It definitely
something
was.
came from nothing. That's kind of a miracle.
it depends on
right?
what. It depends heavily on what came before the Big Bang, which we have no clue of. If we did, I feel like Christianity wouldn't really exist.
Man.
Well, that's what the Big Bang is. It's the first.
But it's just like apparently there was just nothing. And the Big Bang created everything, the whole solar system, the whole galaxy, the whole, the
Come on, man. You
whole
would rather believe
space
something,
and shit.
all this came from just nothing, bro, rather than a loving God, bro.
So where do you think it came from, though? Let me ask you, where do you think it came from?
From God, bro.
From
Xylo, the Big
God.
Bang is not a hypothesis.
It is.
It's not. It's a theory.
That's arguable.
Bro,
Can you define a hypothesis?
no,
A
bro.
hypothesis is a thought before any objective
Hypothesis.
experimentation has done.
Is an assumption or proposed explanation for a phenomenon.
Yes, and then
Big Bang
there.
Theory could be.
Do you
That's
know
the
what do you
definition
know what
right
a
there.
theory is? It's a hypothesis after it has been
That's a
tested.
thought.
So God is a
mean,
hypothesis
I think
because you can't
really-
really test if there's a God or not. You can't objectively test if God exists or not.
Okay, but then if it's after it's been tested, then how is it? Okay.
That's the
If
that's
you
the
can't
best
test
that's the
it-
best explanation we
think-
have for the Big Bang, for the start of the universe so
Oh my
far, the Big Bang, and the theory of the Big Bang is not an
Makes no
explosion
sense.
that started the universe. It just suggests that the universe is expanding.
So nothing.
I think really all that matters
Hey,
is
it's
that
not, I don't
it's
feel like the Big Bang created everything because apparently they're supposed to fit
That's not
way
okay.
across our Milky Way, right? Milky Way's fat, it's hella big, right? But they say shit expands.
Bro, you're not helping my argument right now.
Bro, what are y'all talking about, bro?
yeah, I don't really get your.
Yeah, I don't know
You're
what
saying,
he's
bro,
talking
the
about.
Big Bang.
I'm arguing
saying
off
the
his
Big
point.
Bang
I
is
wait,
expanding.
what? Sorry, I interrupted.
No, it's all good, bro. You said the Big Bang is just expanding, bro.
Yeah, that's the theory of the Big Bang.
From what?
That's where we don't know.
So you would rather just say,
Like the only thing
honestly, nah, I can't even say that. My bad, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
No, you're
You're
fine.
mad late, bro.
It's just a common misconception that the Big Bang is like an explosion that created the universe, when it's not. So I just wanted to like clarify that before we started like.
I mean, the only thing that really matters when you're debating it is that it's something came from nothing, whether that was a big explosion or not. It's the same thing, and it's not a fact. It's just what might have been.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Okay. Let me do my actual point because I was just kind of arguing his point for him. So
Yeah.
would you
Okay.
would you guys say that God, the one that you believe in, is all knowing and all good?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. And would you say that the Old Testament is the spoken words of God through Moses's mouth? If I'm not mistaking that.
Almost all the time, but yes, but Moses is also a person who sinned.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Do you know Exodus 17-8-16?
I'm finding right now.
It
I don't know about heart.
it
can't
talks
remember
about the
off the top of my
genocide
head.
of the Amaleks or Amalite. I forgot which one it was. I'm pretty sure Amalek, correct? And it talks about how Moses ordered the execution of the entirety of Amalek through God's word. And
Oh, we just talked about this. Yeah.
I don't.
No, that was a different one, but it was a similar. Yeah.
It's Exodus 17-8-16,
Yeah.
16, and Deuteronomy 25-17-19. So like,
I'm just gonna say what I said before. Or wait till you're done. Sorry.
what would you say is the explanation for, like, a good explanation for God to genocide the people of Amalek?
Well,
Okay. So
me
you have
speak.
to understand
say is
that this was a time
not good.
of the God flooding the earth because it's got so bad that was needed, which is we don't have that now. It's just not the same. And it was also the time where we had cities like Sodom and Gomorrah, and I think worse, or might as well be worse, places where everything was sin, everything was horrible. You don't want to be there, and you don't want that to exist. And so, for that to not happen, God, if somebody was persecuting God's people, the Israelites, to stop something like that from happening again, sometimes a genocide, quote unquote, will be necessary of the people, so that doesn't happen again.
It's a purge of sin.
Yeah, that too.
But honestly, wait, hold up. Say that again, bro. You said that was before the flood, or you said it was after?
I thought Amalek was after the flood.
Oh,
yeah, it's after.
Yeah, not that that I believe in the flood.
I was just saying it's in the time of the flood, in the time of the Old Testament, not like the flood's before it. But
no, it's
all
afterward, bro.
Do you guys believe in the Great Flood? I know it's kind of like diverting, but do you guys believe in the flood?
Yes, sir, my boy.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Do you guys have any evidence for the flood happening, or?
I don't have any evidence I know for a fact, but there's been things like there's seashells on mountains and stuff.
Yeah, that's just normal tectonic plate activity. Do you know how mountains are formed?
And they found the actual do you know how ships have anchors to keep them still? They found those all dropped around the earth. Well, there's I don't know for certain if this is true or not fact statements, but they found them around the earth where Noah was dropping them as he was going, and they found they found some of them around the earth.
When and by who?
There is evidence for the flood, a massive flood in the Black Sea around 7,500 years ago. You can never know for sure because it's just archaeological evidence, and that's not you can get pretty close, but there's never going to be a guarantee.
I thought
we weren't there.
Not to interrupt you, but I thought the flood was the entire world, or was it just the Black Sea?
I don't.
Yeah, it was the entire world.
I don't know if the.
It was the entire Earth.
Yeah, and there's no evidence.
Yeah, it was the
there's flooding in the Black Sea and nowhere else 7,500 years ago isn't really evidence, you know?
Hold on, let me see. One second. I don't think you're ever going to get a evidence that tells you that there was a flood that surrounded the whole earth.
If there was a flood that did surround the entire earth, we would know about it. That's the point that I'm getting at. And the fact that there's maybe a flood that happened 7,500 years ago in the Black Sea is very much iffy evidence.
That's just an example of how new evidence comes up all the time, new archaeological evidence. So, I just don't think it's I don't think that's a good reason to stake all of your faith in or not.
I'm not saying that. I just wanted to but my point of bringing up Amalek was I don't why couldn't God have done other things to have brought these people towards God and not have to genocide the entire city?
Now, let me
the reason
say this is entirely speculative, but
go ahead.
But what if there was no other way? This was all-knowing God, knew the future, knew what would have happened afterwards. What if this was the only way? And they were fighting a war too. I I don't know who started it for sure. I don't know the history entirely, but I would say if a war was going on, you know what I'm saying, there there was have to be a winner. This is just speculative though. I'm
Yeah,
not
that's
even.
like an
I'm just
official
asking
history.
questions.
The thing you have to understand about the Old Testament and all that stuff is that it's not like God wanted it to be that bad back then. It all got that bad because humans chose to sin, and so God made the best of that time. Like, even though that was full of sin back then, so it's not like God made us just so we could genocide people. It's that we chose to sin back then. Well, they chose to sin back then, and that led to, well, all that war and stuff.
Hold on, I'm trying to think on how to phrase this right.
Mm-hmm.
You're mod now. You trust it.
Who's the Who's the atheist here?
I am John F. Kennedy.
Christmas.
Okay,
Mm.
Christmas.
What was your like main concern or question?
My main point was that God cannot be all knowing and all good because he commanded the genocide of the Amalekites, or how the hell do you say that? Something like that. Of Amalek in the Old Testament in Deuteronomy 25-7-19 and Exodus 17-8-16.
Sorry. Can you repeat the verses again? Like
Deuteronomy
what?
Deuteronomy 25-17-19 and Exodus 17 8-16.
So Deuteronomy 25:17 to 19, right?
Yeah.
And then the second one was which one? It's just so I
Exodus
can read it real quick.
Exodus 17 8-16.
The thing too with the people, like the groups of people that God chose for Moses' people to take out, is that a lot of them were doing like horrible stuff, like child sacrifices, bad adultery stuff. I don't want to get banned, but you know what I mean, and like idolatry and stuff like that, and worse. And so
does that excuse murder?
I mean,
Because isn't murder like the greatest sin of them all? If I'm not wrong, or is there something worse than that?
Blasphemy is.
Blasphemy.
Murder of an innocent, but self-defense. Murder of the innocent is bad, but self-defense, or if you have to kill someone who's going to kill other people and hurt other people, that's different than
to bring justice as well.
murder.
It's different.
Okay.
It was Exodus what? Sorry, Exodus 17.
Exodus 17 8-16.
8 through 16.
Yeah.
I forget the exact.
I'm just gonna take a look at it real quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
I forget the exact translation of the commandment of like thou shalt not murder.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it's not murder exactly. It's like a.
Yeah, let me look up the
thou shalt not
translation.
kill justly. Yeah. It's 4 a.m. It's over.
1, you shall have no other gods before me. 2, you shall not make yourself an idol. 3, you shall not misuse the name of your Lord or your God. 4, remember that Sabbath day by keeping it holy. 5, honor your father and mother. 6, you shall not murder. 7, you shall not commit adultery. 8, you shall not steal. 9. You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor.
Yeah. Well, I think the original what was it, Hebrew translation for the "thou shalt not kill" one, it's a little bit different. Hold on, let me see.
I'm trying to find it. Okay, I don't want the easy to read
Alright,
version.
so I read the verses. I wasn't here for the entire thing, so like, what exactly are you trying to what point are you trying to
Um,
touch? What exactly?
the sin of the Amaleks do not excuse the murdering of their entire city, and then the um like consequent like hunting down of the women and children as well, specifically. They hunted down the women and children. I don't know if that's stated in these, but pretty sure it's stated somewhere.
I think it's the Amalekites.
Yeah.
They unjustly and unprovoked attacked the Israelites. It's like it's kind of hard to say like was it really unjust? Because imagine if the Amalekites took over and killed Israel. They killed all of God's people. Like what horrible like repercussions would that have? So it's not like they are innocent. It's not like they.
Yes, but that does like how does that like also justify the murder of children as well?
Because did they kill children in that?
Yes, there was one part where they specifically were told to hunt. I don't know if they were told, but there was one part where they hunted down the women and children as well. The woman could have been up to some stuff too, but I don't feel it's just to kill the children as well. Let me see if I can find that verse for you.
Just Exodus.
Hold on. Oh, it's in Samuel.
I think a good explanation would be that the children they would grow up indoctrinated in hatred of Israel. It would just perpetuate the same evil that brought judgment in the first place. So it just have to happen again and again.
Okay.
Which, I don't think, and I guess it was just seeking vengeance later as often, as it happened happened often in ancient tribal culture.
Okay,
let me quote racial or political.
Yeah, let me quote.
I think it was like spiritual warfare.
Okay, let me quote Samuel real quick. This is Samuel 15, 2-3. Quote, "This is what the Lord Almighty says. I will punish the Amalekites for what they did to Israel when they waylaid them as they came up from Egypt." 3. Now go and attack the Amalekites till they're totally destroyed. All that belongs to them. Do not spare them. Put them to death, men and women, children and infants, cattle, sheep, camels, and donkeys. And that is, can I not copy and paste? There it is. That is that Bible verse.
What exactly are you? Okay, so what about this Bible verse?
It says that the Lord wants the death of not like just the sinners, but also children and infants specifically. I don't know what Like
Saying like
it's an infant. I don't know what they did to sin.
he's saying, why would God command the Israelites to kill, to basically murder all these people? Well, I won't say murder. I'll say kill all these people. I'm still looking at it because, to be honest, I'm kind of rusty
I
on the
think
Old Testament because I haven't studied it.
as
But
humans,
give me 1 second.
it's emotionally painful, yes, but from a biblical standpoint, God, as the author of life, as stated in the Bible, has the right to take life whenever he wills. You can read Deuteronomy 32:39. It says, "There is no God besides me. I kill and I make alive. Children," just to state it, "are not sinless." You can read that in Psalms 51:5. "All are born into a fallen world. God is not morally obligated to extend physical life to anyone. Death, death for the child is not necessary damnation. It is entrance into God's hand, and his judgment is always righteous." So, sorry. Just to loop back to what I said earlier, the children would have grown into the same culture of hatred and idolatry, which God would know, being the all-knowing, all-powerful God he is. So the Amokai culture was deeply entrenched into the wickedness. Children had they grown up would likely have, they likely would have perpetrated the same rebellion, idolatry, and violence. In the ancient world, vengeance, blood feuds were passed down. They were raised in systems designed, like legit designed to destroy Israel and oppose God. So
I feel
God's
like
command was not rooted in racism or cruelty, but in cutting off evil at its roots.
I feel
So
like
that's
that's an
why the
appeal to
children had to go.
mystery. Personally, I don't feel I feel like that's a fallacious argument because
Wait, you feel it's an appeal to what? Sorry.
an appeal to mystery.
Okay, continue.
Like by like suggesting that like because God is all knowing that he knew that the infants would later commit whatever they did to deserve to be murdered along with all the other Amalekites is an appeal to mystery because like there's like no like you don't know that and God might I feel like that'll be your argument that God since he is all knowing he will but like there's not really like an objective way I can look at that and say that like that would happen, you know?
Um, I
Yeah, I
guess
get it.
my explanation. I guess my explanation for that would be that you're right. We don't have access to God's reasoning. You're you're correct. I can't say I know for sure those infants would have grown up to do evil. I don't know that. And yes, saying God knows is appealing to mystery, but I think it's a justified appeal. If God is truly who the Bible says he is, all knowing, all just, and morally perfect, if he is omniscient and we are not, then some of sorry, some of his decisions will, by nature, surpass human comprehension, as stated in Isaiah 55:8-9. So I don't think it's a lazy answer. I think it's an admission of our limits, and I'm not saying I'm not just saying God knows with nothing behind it,
Yeah.
or I believe because of the Bible. Uh, it says God hates injustice. God loves children, and God judges righteously. I can give you the verses for that. For the injustice one, Proverbs 6:15, I think 16, but all the way up to 19. For the one, God loves children, it's Matthew 19:14, and that he judges righteously, it's Genesis 18:25. So when he gives a command, we don't understand like the destruction of the Amalekite infants. We're trusting his character, not just shrugging and saying mystery. It's not like saying who knows. It's saying who knows, and he has proven himself just. So I guess the issue isn't whether we know why God judged them. It's whether we trust that he can.
Yeah, and I feel like
I guess
I feel like
you
that's like a fundamental disagreement between us because obviously you guys are gonna trust God's word and God's like plan and how it will work out eventually, but like I don't know, it seems pointless to argue if we like inherently disagree on whether God is like objectively good or not in that sort of sense.
Yeah, and just to look back, from what I understand, you're asking for like objective proof of that those infants would have grown up evil, and you're right, we don't have that. But God, if He's all knowing, which I guess He is, because He wouldn't fit the definition of God if He wasn't. And
Yeah.
if He's morally perfect, does it need our verification to act justly? If you demand that God's actions be objectively proven by human reasoning in order to be valid, you're no longer judging actions. You're putting God on trial by a human standard that flips the moral authority.
Um, would it be a moral authority? Really?
One more time, sorry.
Would it really be a moral authority for like an objective like proof of God?
I think I have an explanation for those verses, by the way. Well, maybe.
Okay.
Ready?
I would say. Wait, you asked, would needing objective proof of God's morality, like,
Yeah, like
what
how
are you asking? Because I
like how do like
go ahead. Sorry.
how does that like flip the morality if God was asked to explain himself for that?
Um, I think God absolutely He allows honest questions in Scripture. People like Job, Habakkuk, David, and Jesus even asked why. But when the assumption becomes God must justly himself according to my moral standards before I accept that he is good, that's where the flip happens, because now you've made yourself the moral judge and place a God in the defendant's seat. So I think that's like the issue. And then I feel like flipping morality equals making man the standard instead of God. And in Christian theology, God is not just morally good; He is the definition of good. So if we say God must meet my definition of goodness, we're saying my definition is higher than His, and that's the flip I'm referring to when the Creator is held to the creature's standards and not the other way around.
It's just I'm gonna be honest. It's like you guys have like a completely different worldview. That's the thing, though, bro.
Yeah,
I
that's
understand exactly what you're saying, but I also understand what he's saying. You can't. He's looking from his perspective, and you're looking from your perspective. There's not really gonna be a common middle ground here. I'm gonna be honest.
yeah. So do you want to flip to his explanation for the um uh killing of
Yeah, I said
Amalekites?
everything I needed to say.
Uh,
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I mean, I'm not gonna give you like I'm not gonna give you an answer that will probably
satisfy
make you
me.
think it's okay.
Yeah.
But just from the yeah, probably not. But just from the short bit of research I did, basically, the conflict between the I forgot their names.
Amalekites.
The two places, Israel. Yeah, the Amalekites and Israelites. That conflict was going on for more than 400 years, and the oh, and there's a verse to support that too. Genesis 15, 13 through 16. That pretty sure that talks about how it's been going on for a long time. and they were given a lot of chances to change. Look at those verses after. But basically, they were given a lot of chances to change. It's 400 years that this was going on. And then also, the Amalekites, they had, like, seduced the Israelites into doing things like idolatry, idol worship, how do I say it? Bad things with
Yo, Jesus and
sex.
LeBron, tough.
and yeah, basically it was going on for a long time. They had a lot of chances to change, and the reason that everybody was wiped out is because, I mean, after 400 years, are they really going to change after this next generation? So,
I mean, are infants gonna, like, infants without their parents' teaching of hate and misery gonna?
How old did Moses?
No.
How old did Moses live to?
How old did Moses? What?
Yeah, how old was Moses?
That's.
I don't know. No, bro. I don't know if that was 400 years, bro.
Yeah,
I don't.
Dude, I'm gonna be completely honest, bro.
The conflict was longer than Moses' life.
I don't have any way to combat this argument here, bro. You got me here, bro.
What are we talking about?
Wait, me?
The Amalekites and the Israelites.
Yeah,
maybe I'm forgetting some verses, forgetting some knowledge, but I don't have any historical evidence or any proof of anything, to be honest with you right here.
For me,
that's a
correct.
good point, bro. Where yeah, the Amalekite, that your argument is pretty much that God is not all good or not all knowing because of the genocide, right?
Yeah.
Not all good, right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have nothing against that, bro. Not for this case, no. But I could tell you across the rest of the Bible, bro, there's very good points. That is one point that I have nothing against, bro. So you got that, bro.
Thank you.
Wait, what was your point? What was your point?
My point was that God cannot be both all-knowing and all-good, because in Exodus 17, 8 through 16, Deuteronomy 25, 17 through 19, and Samuel 15, 2 through 3, it describes how God went about the genociding of Amalek.
No, I agree with that point. Because if God was all good, then why does, like, this is just from my faith, but I do believe that. I think God is all knowing, but he's not all good. And my faith in that is because if God was all good, he wouldn't let people kill each other, he wouldn't let people sin, he wouldn't let stuff go bad. But obviously things go bad. And like you said, you brought up those two verses that obviously back that point.
3, but yeah.
So, yeah, you can't really argue. I can argue that he's all knowing, but not all good. So yeah, I totally agree with you on that.
I still believe that God is good, though, bro. And be honest, God is good, and God is all good, all knowing, bro. So
I mean, he could be majority, like he could be
God,
like more good than bad, but to say that God is all knowing and all good.
Everything about it logically, bro. If you don't even put it in the Bible to perspective, bro. If you just think about God, the creator of the entire universe, bro. Now I know you're an atheist, and so you don't even believe in a God at all, right? But if you think about God, this is a omnipotent, he is all powerful, bro. He can do anything, seen in the future. He can do all these things, and he created us, bro. Comparable to him, we are dust, bro. So now, this leads us to a few factors, bro. Either this is a God that is playing some crazy game on us, bro, where he's just watching us do these things that are terrible, bro. That's a crazy thing to say, bro, but that's the thing that you could think of, bro. Or there's this God that is an actually good God and is the God of the Bible, bro. And he's really trying to have us see, look, we have this nature that is God-given. We have an image that we are made in his image. He created us in His image, in His likeness, and we have a greater potential of good than we even ourselves can see. And then I think there would be another point would be like, so God would be playing games. God is actually good, and then there could honestly be a bunch of different points, bro. But where damn, bro, where am I going with this, bro? I'm forgetting. I'm forgetting. Hold on, I'm about to get it. Hold on. So yeah, I forgot about that.
I think we're also assuming that because humans do bad, that reflects on God. But I don't really see it that way because I think that God gave us free will, and so it's when humans do bad and cause other human suffering, it's not God like allowing it technically. It's more like He allows us to do free will, and we chose to do that stuff.
Cardi said, "Thank God," so it has to be real. That's agreeable. I agree with Vonson. Okay, I think my point is done. You guys can bring some other people up.
No, I was just arguing this crazy guy in this last. He was like, it was an abortion debate, and he was trying to like tie Christians into it. And I started bringing up the facts, like how before the 1980s, Christians had no problem with abortion. And then he started bringing up like the zinc fireworks. And I said the only reason why there was light with the zinc fireworks is because they did it in a lab and they added fluorescence to the egg to show that. But people, man.
Yeah, I'm glad this was like a respectful debate and we weren't like screaming at each other.
Had no problems with it?
Huh?
What do you mean Christians had no problems with abortion?
Well, before, okay, so what I mean by that is in the 1980s, Protestants started having issues with abortions, and before that, they never had any issues with it. And that's mainly due because of Republicans. And with the Catholic Church, they started denouncing abortions in, I think it was 1824, 26. But before that, there was no denouncing of abortions. It doesn't say anywhere in the Bible that abortions are wrong, so on and so on. I mean, people can argue, but I think it's John 1:4, 1:5, where it says, there's a flash of light at birth. And this guy started tying up when a child is conceived, when the swimmer hits the egg, there's a bunch of zinc atoms that release to form the embryo. And he was trying to argue that the atoms that release from the zinc, since they did it in a lab and added fluorescence, it added a spark of light. I know this guy was on crazy stuff.
What?
There's a spark of light, and in John 1:5 it says, life. There's a spark of light. And
I believe it.
I mean, as a Christian, I don't really think the details matter that much of the speck of life and stuff, or speck of light. It's
the thing is, yeah, that I totally agree. I think it's just it gets down to moral.
Well, I mean, the way I view abortion, unless it's gonna kill the mother, is that it's like if I how do I say it? It's not exactly the same, but I hope it emphasizes my point. But if I push somebody into a pile of lava, is me pushing them evil, or is me pushing them that bad? I mean, it's bad, but it's not that bad. But my action still killed them eventually.
Yeah.
In the same way that if you scrape out all sounds gross. If you do an abortion, yes, you're not killing it then, maybe. Maybe it's not doesn't have the heartbeat or whatever.
Well,
I'm
if you didn't do that, it would just be alive.
if you didn't do that, it would be alive. It'd be a baby. So,
Yeah.
as a consequence, direct consequence of your action, you killed the baby. Still, in my opinion.
I think I'm I'm pro abortion up until the baby has a heartbeat, which is about I think 4 or 5 or 6 weeks in.
I'm pretty. I don't think it's 5 or 6 weeks. I think it's like 20.
Is it 12? I thought it was like 16 or something.
It's 16 to 24.
Yeah, sorry. I was confusing with the 5 to 6 weeks. It's the size of an avocado.
Tough.
The human embryo has a heartbeat around 5 to 6 weeks.
Oh shoot! What was I? I was wait. No, I was thinking of.
I was right then.
I was thinking of the age where they can start forming memories.
Oh, okay.
Yo, bro, what's Josh? You said that there was no mention of God hating or disliking, disapproving of abortions in the Bible, right? Early on in the Bible, right?
The only part that people may try and reference that is, like I said, I think it's John 1:5 where it says, oh, let me pull it up real quick.
Nah, there's more before that, bro.
I mean, well, I
There's
think
like
abortion could be
nations that-
considered.
Also, I'm gonna head out. I need to work on my college work.
But a lot of the other verses don't pertain to when you're conceived. It pertains to the pre.
I think I'm also gonna